The world is a comedy to those that think, a tragedy to those that feel. Horace Walpole, they tell you hard work guarantees success. They sell you the dream of climbing the ladder, playing by the rules, and eventually reaching the top. This is a lie designed to keep you exactly where you are, compliant, manageable, and easily replaceable. The truth is the game is rigged. The rules are designed to benefit those already in power, and your hard work primarily benefits them, not you. They need you to believe in the system so you continue to fuel it. So you keep grinding, keep consuming, and keep contributing to their wealth and power. They don't want you questioning the system, challenging the status quo, or seeking real power for yourself. They want you docile, content with your crumbs, and grateful for the illusion of progress. They tell you that wealth is a measure of worth, that material possessions define success. This is designed to keep you chasing a phantom, endlessly striving for something you'll never truly achieve. Because the real game isn't about accumulating things. It's about control, influence, and the ability to shape reality itself. And that kind of power is rarely earned through honest labor or playing fair. They want you to believe that happiness comes from external validation, from approval and acceptance from others. This keeps you dependent on their opinions, their systems, and their control. They don't want you to discover your own inner strength, your own self-worth, your own independent path. They fear the power that comes from a truly self-reliant individual. They tell you that ignorance is bliss, that it's better not to know the ugly truths of the world. This is how they maintain their grip on power, by keeping you in the dark, manipulating your perception, and controlling the narrative. They don't want you to question their authority, challenge their motives, or see through their carefully constructed facade. Because once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. And once you're awake, you become a threat to their control. They tell you that conformity is virtue, that fitting in and following the crowd is the path to safety and security. This is a way to suppress individuality, stifle creativity, and prevent dissent. They want you to believe that being different is dangerous, that standing out will make you a target. But the truth is, true strength lies in your uniqueness, in your ability to think for yourself, and in your courage to defy the norm. They tell you that problems are too complex for you to understand, that you should leave the important decisions to the experts. This is a way to undermine your own intelligence, erode your confidence, and make you dependent on their guidance. They don't want you to realize your own potential, to trust your own judgment, or to take control of your own life. Because once you empower yourself, you become a force to be reckoned with. They tell you that history is objective, that it's a collection of facts and events that are universally agreed upon. But history is always written by the victors, by those in power who shape the narrative to suit their own interests. They want you to believe their version of the past, to accept their justifications for their actions, and to forget the truths that they want to bury. But the truth is, history is a battlefield of ideas, a constant struggle for interpretation and meaning. And it's your responsibility to question everything, to seek out alternative perspectives, and to uncover the hidden narratives that lie beneath the surface. They tell you that the world is a just and fair place, that everyone has equal opportunity, and that success is simply a matter of merit. This is a blatant lie designed to mask the deep inequalities and systemic injustices that permeate society. They want you to believe that your failures are your own fault, that you simply didn't work hard enough or try hard enough. But the truth is, the system is rigged against you, designed to favor those who were born into privilege and power. And until you recognize this truth, you will continue to be exploited and manipulated. They tell you that the government is there to protect you, to serve your interests, and to ensure your well-being. But the government is often a tool of the powerful, used to maintain their control, protect their wealth, and advance their own agendas. They want you to trust their authority, to obey their laws, and to believe that they have your best interests at heart. But the truth is, the government is often corrupt, inefficient, and unresponsive to the needs of the people. And it's your responsibility to hold them accountable, to demand transparency, and to fight for a system that truly serves the interests of all. They tell you that the media is objective, that it presents the news fairly and accurately, and that it's a reliable source of information. But the media is often controlled by powerful corporations and individuals who shape the narrative to suit their own interests. They want you to believe their stories, to accept their perspectives, and to trust their judgment. But the truth is, the media is often biased, sensationalistic, and manipulative. And it's your responsibility to be critical of what you see and hear, to seek out alternative sources of information, and to form your own opinions based on facts and evidence. They tell you that money is the root of all evil, that it corrupts and destroys, and that you should focus on more spiritual and meaningful pursuits. But money is simply a tool, a means to an end. It can be used for good or for evil, depending on the intentions of the user. They want you to be afraid of money, to avoid it, and to believe that it's somehow morally wrong to pursue wealth. But the truth is, money can provide freedom, opportunity, and security. And it's your responsibility to learn how to manage it wisely, to use it to create value, and to build a better future for yourself and your family. They tell you that you should be grateful for what you have, that you should appreciate your blessings, and that you shouldn't complain or ask for more. But gratitude shouldn't be confused with complacency. It's important to appreciate the good things in your life, but it's also important to strive for improvement, to challenge yourself, and to never settle for mediocrity. They want you to be content with your current situation, to accept your limitations, and to believe that you can achieve more. But the truth is, you are capable of far more than you realize. And it's your responsibility to unlock your potential, to pursue your dreams, and to create a life that is truly fulfilling. They want you to believe that happiness comes from external sources, from material possessions, from the approval of others, from fleeting pleasures. But happiness is an inside job. It comes from within, from a sense of purpose, from strong relationships, from self-acceptance, from living in accordance with your values. They dangle these external carrots in front of you, knowing that you'll chase them endlessly, never truly finding satisfaction. The truth is, genuine happiness is a byproduct of a life well lived, a life of meaning and contribution. It's a state of mind that you cultivate, not a prize you win. They tell you that you should follow your passion, that you should do what you love, and that you should ignore the practical considerations. But passion without discipline is a recipe for disaster. It's easy to be enthusiastic when things are going well, but it's the ability to persevere through challenges, to push through obstacles, to stay committed even when you don't feel like it, that truly separates the successful from the merely hopeful. They want you to blindly follow your heart, to ignore the advice of others, and to believe that passion alone is enough. But the truth is, success requires a combination of passion, skill, and hard work. It requires a willingness to learn, to adapt, and to make sacrifices. They tell you that you should be yourself, that you should embrace your individuality, and that you should never try to conform to societal expectations. But individuality without self-awareness is just eccentricity. It's important to understand yourself, to know your strengths and weaknesses, to be true to your values. But it's also important to be aware of how your actions impact others, to be respectful of different perspectives, and to recognize that sometimes compromise is necessary. They want you to be rebellious for the sake of being rebellious, to reject all forms of authority, and to believe that conformity is always a sign of weakness. But the truth is, true strength lies in the ability to discern when to conform and when to challenge, to understand the reasons behind the rules, and to make informed decisions based on your own values and beliefs. They tell you that you should be optimistic, that you should always look on the bright side, and that you should never dwell on negative thoughts or emotions. But blind optimism is just denial. It's important to be hopeful, to believe in the possibility of a better future, but it's also important to acknowledge the challenges, to confront the difficult realities, and to learn from your mistakes. They want you to ignore the problems, to pretend that everything is fine, and to believe that positive thinking alone will solve all your issues. But the truth is, growth requires facing your fears, confronting your weaknesses, and taking responsibility for your actions. They tell you that you should be open-minded, that you should consider all perspectives, and that you should never judge others based on their beliefs or opinions. But open-mindedness without critical thinking is just gullibility. It's important to be receptive to new ideas, to listen to different viewpoints, but it's also important to evaluate the evidence, to identify the biases, and to form your own conclusions based on reason and logic. They want you to accept everything you hear, to believe everything you read, and to trust everyone you meet. But the truth is, the world is full of misinformation, manipulation, and deceit. And it's your responsibility to be skeptical, to question everything, and to seek out the truth for yourself. They tell you that you should be selfless, that you should always put others first, and that you should never prioritize your own needs or desires. But selflessness without self-care is a path to burnout and resentment. It's important to be compassionate, to help those in need, but it's also important to take care of yourself, to protect your own well-being, and to ensure that you